all these things will happen for this country. Government, all these things they happen, all of them keep quiet. No, keep quiet now. All these things now go result to another thing. Nigerians now don't they cry now. Una not going to intervene for this thing will happen for Edo. Una not going to intervene and find true as the solutions to these things now. Before this thing go lead to another thing. Nigerians now don't they para everybody don't they para now. Una do last una no know. Una do last una no they say anything. Video now don't do almost 9 to 10 videos about this thing. Una never see one respond. I never see one react. Until this thing now go lead to another thing now. You go be like say this one. Because what they see now, this thing now go turn to another thing. It go turn to another thing. Make government react to this, it go turn to another thing.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. So many people have been saying that what happened in Uromi, Edo State, is going to make Nigeria or destroy Nigeria. It depends how Nigeria government want to react to it. So last week, the governor of Edo State went to KANO for condolence visit and also compensated those families that died in Edo State. So we thought that everything have calmed down, that people can move on right now. But looking at this headline today, says that the family of those hunters said that they can sneak into Uromi community, Edo State, and then take revenge. So these people are still trying to take revenge, and this has put the life of so many people in danger. When you come to that Uromi community now, people are kind of leaving the community. So even people that are still there, they're kind of living in fear. So what is Nigeria government doing about it? Are they going to wait until these people take revenge? Right now, there is no vigilante in that community. So it gives these people like a free hand to do whatever they want to do in that community right now. So what is Nigeria government doing about it? Is it when these people retaliate and many people now buy, they will now start talking about it? Like, why is it that the life of the Southerners does not matter in this country called Nigeria? You guys have seen the level of hypocrisy from the Northerners. So Northerners had meeting the other day, telling Nigerians, how many Northerners have died in the South. They start counting years and this and that, the state. Like, they did not even make mention of how many people have these Fulani herdsmen died in the South. I wish that our politicians from the South, they are this active to protect the life of, Southerners. Because when they hear that Fulani herdsmen by this person, nobody will talk about it. But look at how active these Northerners leaders are. This to show you that something is very, very wrong in the South. Very, very wrong. The life of the Southerners does not matter in Nigeria. And this is very sad, my people. Let me allow you guys to take a look at this insightful discussion from Mayego. It's really worth watching. Just take a look. But before then, please, if today is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, share the video, give it a like, and also leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for doing so.
In the country, lives have been lost. And if what happened to these Hausa hunters or traveling hunters pained the North so much, maybe it is time, right, for the whole country to have a conversation around this union. Because according to these concerned Northerners, they consulted with the Arewa Consultative Forum. They consulted with the Northern Elders Forum, which means what they presented as their position kind of have the backing of who is who in northern Nigeria. And what happened? They announced, or should I say, they actually read out the timeline of attacks on Northerners. They used that word Northerners now, without having to say Hausa, Fulani, Ishek. I want to say Shekiri. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, so all the northern tribes, they are not putting them into one. Okay, I mean, so they're not listing them out. So, oh, they killed the Fulanis here, or they killed the Hausa there, and they, they attacked the Hausa traders here. They attacked the, so they listed out what they call the timeline of, the killings of Northerners in the southern part of Nigeria. And with what happened in Uromi, they strongly believe that the Northerners are endangered people in Nigeria. I'm going to play you the video. It's quite interesting. Northerners are endangered people in Nigeria. And under Tifnumbu, it is kind of like obvious. That's how they said it. They said it is obvious that Tifnumbu cannot guarantee the safety of Northerners in Nigeria. And because, again, they said because when they signed up for this union, they signed up with the expectation that Nigeria will protect them or will protect them. If Nigeria is not sure of guaranteeing their protection, there is no point in having any union. That's what they said. They said there's no point in having any union. There's no point in saying you have Nigeria. I said, okay, come on. I'm listening. Go on. They just said a lot, Sha. And from the total talk is that at this point, it won't be a bad idea for the North to break up from Nigeria. They said it too. I'll show you. But the irony of it all, which I find, I found a little bit hard, is that we all know the fakery. We all know the lies formed together called Nigeria. We all do, except for those who are living in denial, because we do have people who are living in denial as well, right? Northern Nigeria. When it is politically convenient, they call it political exigencies. When it is politically convenient for this called Sharia North, middle belt of Nigeria is Northern Nigeria. I saw Solomon Dalongi, Abikilorukwe, your former minister of sports. Remember him? During Bokwari's time, first time. Solo is part of the Northern concerned citizens. You know, he is from Plateau State, Plateau State, Benue State, Taraba State, states that have been bleeding from the bullets of the Fulani terrorists for more than 10 years now. Somebody from that middle belt is sitting with them to claim to be a Northerner, to advocate for what they called injustice against Northerners in Nigeria. Don't get me wrong. I personally detest jungle justice, because you see, one thing about injustice is that where the good people keep quiet, okay, and then you allow injustice to pass and go on and on, it's going to be a matter of time before it is going to hit close to home. That's one thing about injustice. It is always going to touch you. That is why you speak up. Don't wait till you become a victim of an injustice before you speak up. Don't do, concern me. They mind my business. Because last, when they are done with those they are dealing with, it's going to be a turn. And there will be nobody to speak up for you. Nobody. That's one thing about, injustice. However, we have seen the part where those who love to claim the biggest North watched as, even right now, if you go to Chena Boko, Abina Boko, right now is bleeding. Benue State is bleeding again in the hands of the Fulani terrorists as we speak. But I have to give it to them, though. They have a way of, throwing their weights around. And then once you have that part, northern Nigeria, so everybody would have to look again and say, okay, what are they saying? That's why I'm going to take you through to what, Ajia Najatu, that woman that said a lot about Fire, APC, Egbekebe, Tifnumbu, and all that. I think she's the Shia lady, I mean, a woman lady. Auntie Ajia, Aduranya Gbamao, she gets, we have to break up this contraption. Nigeria cannot protect all of us anymore. She gets Auntie Ajia Najatu. Let me show you what their meeting was all about before we proceed. Because on this side, there is another mental law. The APC, Egbekebe chairman, in Edo State. That one too has called a press conference to tell the whole world that the Hausa farmers killed in Uromi, they were not killed by mobs. They were killed by PDP. Their intention was to make the state ungovernable for Monday Odoyo. We'll come to that one. First, northern concerned citizens. Please.
So again, let's apologize for starting behind schedule. This is just because of the systemic challenge every Nigerian is facing. Otherwise, by our orientation, we would have rounded up in here. You are once more welcome. This is a press briefing by concerned northerners who, after observing the trend of event nationally as it affects our collective existence as a country, we decided to come together. The feeling, the aspiration, and the thinking of the people of the 19 northern states as we view it. The text is going to be read by our mother, Hajia Najatu Mohammed. Hajia, Bismillah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this is a press conference organized by concerned northerners. The nation woke up on the 28th of March to the horrifying news of a gruesome massacre in which about 16 people from northern part of the country were massacred in a very savagery manner that is reminiscent to the barbarism of the old Roman Empire. We have noted that since the event, leaders have issued the usual condemnation, and security agencies have announced the commencement of investigations, and community leaders have risen up to speak on the atrocity. But even as this was happening, some reckless parochial local champions have continued to insult the North and deride its people, fabricating lies and spreading mischief on the incidents. This is a very familiar scene in the last 2 decades. We are here to tell Nigerians that this incident is one too many and will no longer be tolerated. We are speaking after due consultations with the Northern Elders Forum and the Arewa Consultative Forum and some northern professionals, and precisely because we have restrained our youth from reacting and retaliating. For the records, this is not the first time that northerners have been targeted and killed under several guises and excuses. We recall the event of March 2016, where at the Mile 12 crisis, where northerners were killed. In the same 2016, another massacre of innocent Hausa traders and settlers in Port Harcourt were killed. In December 2019, in Akure Market, is the Akure Market killing, where northerners were killed. In Oyo State, at the Iganga, is the Iganga killings in June 2021, where northerners were killed and their properties were destroyed. In April 2021, in Imo State, dozens of northern traders and cattle herders were slaughtered in cold blood by some armed bandits. In all of these incidences, the North restrained itself, even as they are far more larger in population than Southerners. In all these incidences, the North restrained itself, even as they are far more larger populations of these southerners enjoying in the north. They are growing their businesses, making money off northerners, all without any form of harassment. The north is not stupid. We can no longer allow a situation where our people are hunted down like game, while the same tribes are welcomed in the north, enjoying hospitality and making money off northerners. This government and the ones it succeeded have also shown that they neither have the will or the capacity to deal with the threats to human life in Nigeria. The country has become a killing zone as they sit there and supervise the sharing of national resources meant to provide for the welfare and security of our citizens. As a result, citizens daily face precarious hazards as they work hard just to eke a living. In other words, our governments are in the habit of ignoring their constitutional duties and taking care of themselves and their fantasies, while citizens who voted for them in the first place rot away in penury and anguish as if they have no conscience at all. This is, to say the least, is a political blasphemy, and it has its consequences. As certain as death, it will come when it will come. We therefore need to remind this government that in the hierarchy of human needs, human life comes first. They have sworn to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which categorically and explicitly stated that the purpose of governance is the welfare and security of its citizens. We need to remind this government that they are here basking in power courtesy of the votes from the north. We need to remind this government and its security agencies that their excuses for their failure to secure this country has long been unattainable, and citizens will not continue to take these excuses kindly. Finally, these killings of northerners and the deriding of the north have aggravated and amplified the national question. If northerners are still citizens of the Nigerian state, then they must be accorded the rights and privileges of citizens in any part of the Nigerian Federation. If, however, the Nigerian state is not willing or ready to accord northerners their rights and privileges as citizens, then northerners will have no option, will have no obligation towards the Nigerian state. The Nigerian state, like any modern state, is sustained by the social contract, like as John Locke's theory of social contract says, and I quote, that the obligation to obey civil government under the social contract was conditional upon the protection of the natural rights of each person, unquote. So if the state should fail, we have no obligation to obey or even continue the union. The North has continued to make sacrifices to keep the union. It looks like it is time to throw in the towel.
Exactly, Ajia. But let us try and, break this down a little bit. Ajia believes that the social contracts that the Northern Nigeria or the people of Northern Nigeria have with Nigeria is one, to protect them and accord them the citizenship, fundamental human rights of this and that. So she went on to list the prominent attacks on Northerners, especially Northern traders, according to her. in the southern part of Nigeria, like market, sort of fights, tribal, this, that stuff. She listed on how many times the Northerners have come under attacks in the South. And God, I indeed empathize with them, especially those who are victims of these intertribal, ethnic, clashes, where we have had a record of that. But in Nigeria, a place where indigenous people were subjected to these violent lives, which is not of their own choosing, by the Fulani terrorists in the southern part of Nigeria, including the middle belt part of Nigeria, including as we speak right now, at what is happening. I mean, we witnessed the bleeding, the ravaging, the bleeding of the people, the ravaging of communities, the destructions of lives and properties done by these Fulani terrorists, as well as other terrorists from northern part of Nigeria. On record, we witnessed how Boko Haram's murderous regime did everything to legitimize this murderous jihadists through many means of government to try to want to accommodate them. We should learn how to accommodate our killers. Talking about protection, okay, social contract. When the Fulanis, or Fulani terrorists rather, when they ransacked the southern part of Nigeria, and people started, their victims started screaming out for help or self-defense, we remember the roles of the northern criminal politicians who did everything to twist the southern part of Nigeria from defending herself. And the effect of that is still pretty much existence to this day. Ajia Najatu, reacting to what happened in Uromi, then picking up on other stuff that happened in the the timeline of this attack, in quote, attacks on the north. She could do that. But what I probably wish just kind of exist is to see the the southerners with a spine, right? Who can indeed throw it on their face and say, listen, if the killing of northerners, as you put it, right, has shown to you clearly that Nigeria can protect them, and therefore your social contract with Nigeria can end now. What about the people of the middle belt? What about the people of the southern part of Nigeria? What about the people of the Biafra land, or Oduduwa land, or any land away from the Sahel? What do you think they should be feeling like? Or how do you think they should be feeling? In a country that was supposed to be their country, Abi? Fundamental human rights that gives them the right to existence, the right to, worship or religion, you call it, Abi? Then the right to defend yourself. All of these have been taken away from the people of the southern part of Nigeria, starting from under Boko Haram. It was so bad that, Miyetti Allah, remember them? They were offering to be our vigilantes in Yoruba land. That was how bad it was. And you dare not, okay, well, we did try that, okay, you know what? We are tired. If we are not going to be allowed to protect ourselves or defend ourselves, then let us break up this contraption. No, they don't want to break up because they had the power then. Everybody could go to places. So if they are talking about fundamental human rights now, because they feel like the rest of Nigeria, that's how they feel, the rest of Nigeria hates them. And she said that they have been holding back their own youth. Mama, what's in your youth go to? like normal, bros. Waiting your youth could do if you don't talk to them. In this day and time where everybody the mentor, if you touch anybody from northern Nigeria, you also have your own people from southern Nigeria. Gone are the days, like your internet. Gone are the days that it will take days or even weeks before people understand the kind of like attacks or the arson being carried out on innocent people in northern part of Nigeria. You touch anybody in northern Nigeria, alarm go blow from other part of Nigeria too, on your people.
Jetzt bei Coolblue. Große Geräte, kleine Preise. Satte Rabatte auf Trockner, Kühlschränke und mehr.
Also, I've told you before that Nigeria is a place where people can't wait to kill themselves. And one of the reasons why I have personally been an advocate of peaceful breakup of this contraption, and every lie you've been told, that some of you have kind of like, it's going to be like, wow, you've ruined my childhood. You've ruined my childhood fantasy. Breaking up of Nigeria. No. You have ruined my childhood memory. Papa, childhood memory. Papa, you are just deceiving yourself. The only memory you have is the memory of, what do you call it? The memory of, backwardness that these guys have foisted on us. Peaceful breakup of that contraption means we don't have to, that conditional, what's it called again? Is it called conditional existence? No, conditional love. Conditional love. And that is, where people just try to pretend to like you for a certain reason, right? So some say that if there is no oil and gas in the south, if the crude oil and the gas that's currently, exists in abundance in the southern part of Nigeria, if it was to be in the northern part of Nigeria, they would have broken up Nigeria since. Yeah. You would have had the southern Nigeria, northern Nigeria. They would have been two countries by now, at least. So the condition of us existing together because of this one fake Nigeria is because of the prosperity of the South. As much as some of them feels like, well, they also have something that could make them decent. It doesn't matter. What happened is that the reason why they didn't want to break up before now was because, the theory of, rich wife and the poor husband, jobless, lazy husband. So the poor husband is the north and the rich wife is the south. In a toxic sort of a marriage where there is no peace, there is no progress. It is just like, So if now they feel like this union is a lie, it's fake, they don't feel safe in that union, that's a good thing. What I just don't understand is dragging the middle belt into it. In this year 2025, somebody is still claiming that neither the northern states have 19, northern Nigeria have 19 states. That is not true. The same Fulani terrorists that are wreaking havoc in every part of Nigeria today, they have burned and killed in the middle belt part of Nigeria, that you'll be wondering, why are you killing northerners? None of these guys came out to say, why are the Fulani terrorists killing northerners? No. But like I said, when it is politically convenient, there are 19 states in northern Nigeria. But whenever it is the supremacy battle time, they will let you know that the Middle Beltans are infidels. Infidels. We are trying to save them, and those ones that cannot be saved by converting to their Islam will be slaughtered. What is Dalong doing there? Oh, you're going to hear that. Ajia, finish what you are saying so that everybody can understand and we can begin the process of when are we going to start it? The breakup of Nigeria.
While we still appeal to our youth for restraint, this time we shall keep our fingers crossed and mount a sentinel to monitor the investigation promised and the prosecution of those arrested and the payment of the compensation to the families of those who lost their lives. Because the people they elected failed to live up to the oath of office to the tenets of the Constitution. Thank you.
Internal crisis from the north here has led to we Northerners, sorry, I'm also from the north, being disrespected over there. Our activities, how we go about them, we see in Zamfara, for example, Muslim versus Muslims, Fulanis versus Hausas, Fulanis versus Fulanis, Hausas versus Hausas, the kidnapping, the senseless killings. We see what happened in Jos, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, in Plateau State, where about 11 people were killed. We also saw the example of, let's say, what happened to Deborah, which has caused a lot of reactions on the way Deborah died. So how do we get to address these issues? Can you come together and do something more elaborate on this, on the internal crisis we have in the north in the first place? Before we think of, we understand that the national level is there, you know, the government has to do something because they are the government. It's their sole responsibility to protect the people, to make sure that this does not happen again. But how do we address that, or, you know, the internal crisis we have in this north here? Thank you.
Your name and address.
Your name,
please.
My name is Ivan Magoni. I work with Hypocrisy.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you raised a very germane and a fundamental issue. But let me enlighten you that the group of concerned Northerners had been involved in stimulating conversation in the North as to how to deal with a plethora of these challenges. And this effort indeed yielded positive results when the Northern governors and the traditional rulers met in Kaduna and took far-reaching decisions as to how to deal with these issues. But don't forget that national security lies within the constitutional purview of the national government. Therefore, all subnational efforts mobilized to deal with this issue goes to nothing if there is no refined cooperation flowing from the federal government to complement this. And this is where the 19 northern states today face as challenges.
And FCT.
And yes, and FCT face as challenges. You made references to some of the horrific killings that are ongoing or took place within the North, which as a people, as at when they happen, we came out, we condemn. Not only condemning, we have also taken steps to ensure that we deal with the issue of the infiltration of northern community by sponsoring political disagreement and sometimes religious disagreement just to sustain this narrative that, oh, it's not well with the North, and so the North should not complain about what is happening. And this is why we are here today, to make a categorical statement that when you sight a snake in your house and suddenly the snake disappears, you are not going to embark on massive destruction of the house because you want to find a snake. You will have to be calm to create a decoy of a peaceful environment for the snake to emerge so that you can deal with it. That is not to say when an arsonist approaches your house with a gallon of petrol, you will pretend that you are dealing with the snake question, and so your house will be set ablaze. So the North, with what has happened in Edo, we have made references to these killings, and to us in the North is already a pattern. And that's why we conclude by saying that all these sum up together raise the fundamental national question, which we have put it now at the doorstep of the federal government to consider it. Well, what I have basically put across is that we are appealing to the youth, the restive youth in the North, who by virtue of what has happened in Uromi are calling for reprisal. And I stated that the mere fact that all of us seated here are supposed to be in our comfort zone, celebrating Salah with our families, but we are here gathered in Abuja, convey how we appreciate how serious this issue is. And we're saying that this is not just mere normal press briefing. We're going to back up whatever we have stated here with action. We're going to deliver a letter thereafter to the Edo State Government Lodge to be conveyed to the governor about what we expect of this situation. A very transparent investigation. The suspect should be paraded, because the suspect had also identified themselves by the videos they produced and sent online. So they are known. We're saying that this transparent investigation will lead to accountability, and that in the final analysis, Edo State government will have to pay compensation for the lives of these 16 innocent people that died in transit. And we are saying that our people should consider what has happened as a challenge to our faith.
Nuisance lele.
Sheng Bowiri. Did you see how he stylishly avoided commenting like strongly on the ongoing killings in Plateau State, where he came from, or the Middle Belt killings, where he is also from? Then he went on to demand for compensation. And we are all making our statement known now. We are trying to tell our people, our youth, not to retaliate yet. But we want you to know that you have to pay compensation. You also have to parade all these people, like other condition for Edo State. So if Edo State doesn't parade these people, and even though Opeodo had already promised that he was going to parade them, and he was also going to pay compensation, no amount is put on it. Okay. Again, I am not against empathizing, sympathizing with the unfortunate 16, traveling hunters. I empathize with them, and indeed, if this is how it's going to be, then it should be like what is good for the goose should also be very good for the gander. It simply means that if the government indeed feels like they are responsible for their failure to protect the Nigerians who have come under different attacks, including the endless Fulani terrorist attack across Nigeria, pay compensation, return people back to their own ancestral homes. People living in IDP camps, they were put there by the Fulani terrorists as well as the Boko Haram terrorists. These are the two prominent terrorists in Nigeria, terror group in Nigeria. Okay, more than that. Iswa, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists, Lakurawa terrorists, Nigerian army terrorists, Nigeria police terrorists, and how many others? I think, the official and unofficial ones, But it will make sense. Wouldn't it make sense if all of us now pressure and make those in charge of government to arrest culprits who perpetrate acts of terrorism on our people? Not only should they be arrested, right? They must be paraded, and their victims must be compensated. Shouldn't that be the norm? Like if you have to listen to this, what do you call it? If you have to listen to these clowns in Edo State, they are trying their best to change the entire narrative as well. Yeah? And some people are claiming that, no, they are not Hausa, they are not Hausa, they are Fulani. Others are saying, no, they are Hausa, no, they are not hunters. They are not, people are like having different, their own different views based on their own biases, Abi. But the most shocking one is coming from the, I can't remember his name, but you will hear his name, right? He's the APC, Ebekebe chairman in Edo State on top this Uromi matter. The APC chairman in Edo State said, "Na PDP killed those people." According to him, majority of you are thinking they were killed by mob. Abi, no. It was PDP. They organized it. They killed those people in Edo so that Tifnubu will declare state of emergency. Edo State will become ungovernable for Okwe-Odoyo because PDP lost power. I'm not joking. I actually said that.
In their favor.
We saw that mayhem in Uromi, and it is clear that it was an act orchestrated and carried out by the PDP. That you even saw about Obaze when he started making insinuations in his interviews, where he clearly said that the people of Uromi had to come out to attack the kidnappers, maim the kidnappers because Mondiopewolo failed to provide security.
He called on security agencies to immediately arrest the PDP chairman, Tony Azegbemi, and other stakeholders for treasonable acts.
I urge the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to liaise with embassies in countries where these PDP members reside and request their extradition for prosecution. Terrorism, a violent attack against the peace of our nation, cannot and will not be tolerated.
All efforts to reach the Edo PDP chairman, Tony Azegbemi, proved abortive as he neither picked a call placed to him nor respond to message requesting his response in their favor.
We saw that mayhem in Uromi, and it...
Did you hear that? Something strange just happened, though. There were, how many people? I think we had about 140 people watching Mayegun's Diary Political on Facebook. And just, Facebook just kicked out 135 of them and left just 5 people. That's quite strange. That was the APC, Ebekebese chairman in Edo State. And he's, normally, right, you would expect that, oh, that's weighty. That's some very weighty allegation there, right? So in that regard, so the police should go and arrest the PDP, whatever. That's how they play their politics in that place. Another one, which I have actually seen some of these northerners who have been pushing it, is that the attacks on the people of southern Nigeria, they have been attacked by their own people, not Fulani. It is just the lies that the Fulani this, Fulani that. Meanwhile, whenever they are arrested, so they arrest Fulanis, right? Even if you arrest them, you have to release them. You have to free them, right? So whenever they arrest them, they will now stop shouting Fulani, Fulani, Fulani. This one said, not true, not be Fulani, they kidnap people for Edo States.
Last 3 weeks here, my uncle was kidnapped. My in-law was kidnapped. What I found out was that people who did it and kidnapped it, they are Ishan. They were not an Hausa people. They collected 15 million naira ransom. Just a few days ago, some people came from Benin and come to Uromi and come and destroy a house in Uromi. That house did not belong to Fulani. That house did not belong to Hausa. That house did not belong to any member of us in Hausa market here. It was in New Bierum. They went to Apama's house. Felix Apama, popularly known, his house was destroyed by the government. At least people who knows him, he works with Ishan people who are also doing this one. They were the one blocking Igwebe Road. They block Igwebe Road, catch women, and put women into bush. Some of these people who are pretending that this Hausa, let me give you the clear story of it. They are the one that will wear Hausa clothes to make people believe that it's Hausa. They will go and wear this babariga and put this big cap just to hide their identity. Me, I'm a bona fide citizen of Edo State. I'm from Irua, based in Uromi here. The little I know that I've been here for 20 years now, that I have found out, my uncle, my in-laws has been kidnapped, ransoms was paid. The people who were behind it are pure Ishan people. They are the one doing it. Let us call a spade a spade. Let's stop hiding under the sheep of Hausa. If Hausa man mistakenly kidnapped, he will ask for 500, 1 million. If these people that are doing it, that are Ishan, our brothers here, if they kidnap, they will be asking for 50 million, 20 million, 30 million. So we know Those are not the errand where you come and suspect somebody. Once you catch somebody who is kidnapping, Asa or anybody, that's 3 weeks here, man.
Nuisance, Lele.
When they see how propaganda they work. Oh my God. I can't be the only person who heard him say, if an Hausa man mistakenly kidnap, he will ask for 500,000 naira, 1 million naira. But when Asian people kidnap, they go to ask for 20 million, 50 million. You know. Anyway, that's you can make, you can do it wherever you like. Okay, you can do whatever you like with that information. Because when you see the real life victims of this Fulani terrorism, those who live to tell their story, and then recorded it for us to see people like this. What do you tell them? You say that no, now your village people call your corn, feed your farm produce, feed it to their cows. It video evidence. So they are pushing this narrative for a reason. But there is this guy. I want you to listen to this guy. Like the other two Northerners, I shared their clips with you 2 days ago, right? Talking about what frustration that led people to take the laws into their own hands, since Nigeria continued to seems to ignore, you see, the destruction brought upon the people by the Fulani terrorists. But he's also like a Northerner too, which means he's doing his best to try to be fair, but you be the judge on this same matter. Are
still there, most of the messages. What happened in Uromi is devastating, is terrible, and it's so sad. I feel really sad that at this point in our development, just when we thought that especially as young people, that we are ready to salvage the country from, the shackles of ineptitude, the shackles of this divide and rule, that our leaders have succeeded in doing. See how we have turned, against each other. And then the monstrous individuals that have put us in this situation, those that have led to injustices, are having a field day, are enjoying, and they're just looking by the side. What happened in Uromi is the highest form of inhumanity that you would see. For people to come out, to hit, to slaughter, to burn, and it was really terrible to watch. And I say this without mincing words, that as a Muslim, every mob action is condemned. And we are saying this, sometimes it's really painful and annoying whenever we talk about what Islam says, and then somebody comes and they say, oh no, they are lying. We are in a time where information is out there. You have artificial intelligence and everything. Go and check for yourself. I challenge every non-Muslim to go and search for himself. What does Islam say about mob action? Is it allowed? So we condemn it. And it's really annoying that the fact that we witnessed that act of inhumanity and we came out to demand for justice, and then our brothers from the south and sisters are insulting us as if we do not have the right to demand for justice. The way they've been defending it and trying to give comparison with what happened with Deborah, which we are going to address, is really sad. Are we trying to say that what happened is right? Are we trying to say that this act of injustice, this act of inhumanity is justified for any reason? I wish to categorically state that at this point, personally speaking, it's there on my Instagram. In the year 2021, in January, my uncle was killed by bandits. My uncle was killed by bandits. I have an uncle who is in Bauchi, who has lost his eyesight due to the effects of, the activities of Boko Haram. The atrocities of bandits, the Fulani bandits, and all other bandits has affected more Muslims, more Northerners, more than any other region. Look at the activities of the likes of Bello Turji and the number of people they have killed, and then including a first-class emir, the Sarkin Gobe. And as Northerners, we have always come out to condemn these people. And it was sad to see educated people that we know. And it was even more sadder that most of these people, or some of these people, are people that we meet on a daily basis. Even on Salah, they tell us, Barika di Salah. We eat food together. And for us, we think all is well. But we saw that one of the major justifications that were given, or one of the that was given, was the fact that Fulani have been, did they buy us, did they kill us? So are we trying to say that if a Fulani man who is a bandit kills you, then any other Fulani man is responsible? Is that what we're trying to say? I'm not even going to bother myself to begin to give a distinction of who a Hausa is, who a Fulani is, because for a lot of people that are from the south, they don't even bloody care. But that's not even the issue. When a Fulani bandit, if the accusation against a Fulani bandit is that he has killed, is that he has raped, is he doing that on behalf of the Fulanis or on behalf of Islam? Why then will an innocent traveler moving on the way be attacked? Remember, this isn't the first time, and that's what people fail to understand. We have numerous cases. Look at the case of Harira, the lady that was killed with her kids. What was her offense? What was the crime that she committed? Her crime? She was a northerner. She was called a Fulani. She was killed. Did you get this kind of reaction? You didn't. What happened to Ahmed Gulak? He was killed by unknown gunmen. Why? All of these issues are there. We struggle with banditry. Banditry has almost taken over the northwest. It has almost taken over some parts of the north central. If not now that things are gradually improving in some parts. The secure north, if you go check our post, how we have been coming out to cry, even during the time of Muhammad Buhari. But every single day, we are victims, and then when things like this happen again, we cannot come out to say that an act of injustice should be condemned. How can we move forward as a nation like this? How? Suddenly it has become criminal for you to be a Fulani. So a bandit, a criminal, let's think about it. For the people, if you think that it is a Fulani issue, then why are the Fulanis killing us? We that are Fulanis like them. If you think it's an Islamic issue, why do they kill people in the mosque? A criminal is a criminal whether he's a Fulani or whether he's a Hausa man, whether he's Igbo or Yoruba, and should be condemned.
I agree. But the difference is that, bro, even though, by the way, what I want to say now, okay, may be a little bit unsettling, all right? But you are free to possibly pick it apart, okay? The atrocities of the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria, as well as the silence of the majority of, the North. When I say the North, I'm talking about the Arewa North. Okay, so their silence, which he is trying to tell us now that it is they were never silent. Okay, how do I put it? Something that came to my mind is it's not really that nice. I don't know. I wanted to try and sound balanced. Sure, you get treating what this guy said. However, calling out terrorists in the manner that some of these guys wants to present it in their own way, right? Reeks of hypocrisy to me, and I'll tell you why. Some of us have discovered before now, and this is based on empirical evidence, okay, that except for when it is politically convenient, in reality, the Hausas, the other ethnic nationalities from that northern part of Nigeria, they have one very common subjugating ethnic group. They are somehow they didn't learn to live with them. It was more or less like they were forced to live with them and accept them for who they are, just the same way they are trying to force them on the rest of us, and that's their contraption, and it's been a problem. So that's how I see it, because an average Hausa in northern Nigeria, for example, right, where, like you said, the terrorism is very, very, like, rife, like, it's massive. And indeed, there has been what is called the ethnic cleansing, religious killings, all of this taking place in the northwest as well as the north central of Nigeria, to be precise. The north central, what they call this north central, is the middle belt part of Nigeria, like Boko, where they are currently massacring people. Who are those doing that? The Fulanis. So, if being a Fulani, which again, like I said, I want to empathize with him, if he's a Fulani guy, you know, during the time of Bukwari, I said something. I said, the Fulanis are going to find it so hard to be trusted and accommodated in any part of Nigeria in the long run if these Fulani terrorists that have been busy ransacking communities, kidnapping people, where people have been sharing their own personal experiences and all of that, if they are not, instead of trying to pamper them, if they are not dealt with, Bukwari won't be in power forever. And when the consequences of the blowback of what the Fulanis were being allowed to do under Bukwari, when it starts, those of you who are the regular Fulani, there are things somehow, because you are the Fulani president, Bukwari at the time, right? And then you felt like you are on top of the world, or you love that, playing the victim card of, oh, they hate us. Oh, they hate us because we are Fulani. Forgetting the fact that what prompted the reaction of people in this manner is due to the activities of the armed Fulani terrorists in the forest. So instead of shouting Fulani phobia at the time, rather than tackle it, I said, a time is coming. A time is coming that, you see, those of you, where you probably will be, you have to hide it to say you are a Fulani in that contraption. That time has come, and now a Fulani man wants to tell us that the terrorists also kill Fulanis, and they also kill Northerners. We know that the people they killed in the north central of Nigeria, where tens of thousands of people have been killed, children kidnapped, converted to their own kind of Islam, and ransom being paid, and so many others living in IDP camps and what have you, in what you call northern Nigeria today, those are not Muslims. Yeah, I'm not saying that there are not Muslims among them. Don't get me wrong. But we have seen the religious cleansing, the ethnic cleansing, the entire massacre going on in north central of Nigeria as sponsored. So these are not just like clashes, as they normally say. They are not clashes. They are sponsored attacks on these Christians. Most of them are Hausas and other ethnic nationalities who are indigenous people to this northern part of Nigeria, and the effort to try to chase them away from their lands. So if you are a Fulani, if you are a Muslim, and you want to say something about what just happened in Uromi, don't try to push that victim card of, they hate us because we are, or the Fulanis also kidnap Christians, they also kidnap Fulanis too. You will not have to, please, feed us with that bullshit. Please. Fortunately, I want him to be on record, by the way, just like others. What happened is that this contraption called Nigeria, a fraud put together, lasted longer than ever envisaged. It was never meant to be for you and I. And if it's going to be made for you and I, that must also have our inputs. Respect. You see? An average northerner will tell you that as Nigeria, you are free to move anywhere, you are free to live anywhere. It's your country and the rest of that. You are free to do your business anywhere. But that, in reality, is not true. You will never see the Southerners, for example, anybody from Yoruba land, put themselves in a truck, in a Dangote truck, and that they are headed for Sokoto to go and do hunting, you are likely never. You will never see the Igbos put themselves inside the Yaganambo, Abiekene Dilishuku, pack guns, and say they are going to Kano for hunting. And they don't burn you well as well. To load your truck with gold bag, 33, Kings, Star, Gouda, the rest of all those beer. And then headed for the north, your country, because whether you are from Aba, this is what's supposed to be in Nigeria, whether you are from Aba, or you are from Ogolonto in Korodu, you can decide to start living in, what do you call that place? GRA in Zamfara. You know, you can live anywhere. You can do your business anywhere as a Nigerian. But you all know that in reality, that is not true. That is not true. Nigeria is not an Islamic country, but it is also an Islamic country. Officially, yeah, Nigeria is. So the point I'm making here is this whole arrangement was put together without our inputs. So if you want us to continue to coexist, you must seek our consent. If the Fulanis who believes that they are, God damn it, they say the Fulanis are, what do they call them again, Seth? That's all they roll about. They say they're the pastoral. No, not just pastoral. There's a word they use for them. You know, they say they are always like, what is that called again? Please give me the word. Moving from one place to another with their cows. They said it is in their nature. Here you get, it is our culture. Culture kill you there. Why you not do? God bless you. Nomadic. That's the word. That's the word. Nomadic in nature. So a Fulani can move everywhere, anywhere. Now, you will never see a Fulani carrying cow saying they go Sahara Desert, so that it can begin to link up with the Indian Ocean or the Indian Desert all the way to India. It won't do it. Oh, that's too far. No Fulani will lead his cow from Sokoto to Ghana. They don't bond them well. Their nomadic nature is only existing in a lawless place called Nigeria. Don't forget that. So, but we need to respect ourselves. Do you understand? I'm a Yoruba man. I know where the border of Yoruba land starts from, and I know where it ends, from the north to the east, you know, to the south of Yoruba land. I know where our border. We know those who are within the space of that border. We know those who are without the space of that border. So if we agree to continue to be part of this contraption, it must come with an arrangement that they don't burn any Fulani well. They swear for you, carry then gun, a AK-47, enter the territory of a place where you demand, like, will it happen now? But don't pay respect in here. You respect yourselves. You don't even have to like yourselves. Partnership, we can have this contraption as a partnership, which means on our terms. So that we can respect ourselves enough that if you violate that respect, we deal with you. In fact, you will know it, you will see it coming. That is how you run a country. People have to agree to be together. But you see all this idea of we are born to rule, we can get whatever we want, everybody must listen to us. Oh, we will start this and that. But nobody get monopoly of anything. Nigeria don't cast already. Nigeria has cast. I've been in Nigeria, have cast. Nigeria has a cast. Everybody is living on a borrowed time, living in denial, giving themselves reasons why things are like this. It will get better later. It won't. I promise you, it won't. So yes, if there is going to be any justice for the Uromi 16, the ideal thing, I have to give it to them though. I have to give, like respect these guys. The hypocrisy stinks, but they don't give a damn. The same set of rogues, the same set of people, concerned citizens, who were under the roguish, murderous People's Congress, Al-Qaeda People's Congress of Bukwari at the time, then suddenly they have the voice. Suddenly they feel like they're not safe. But that's how we felt under Bukwari. That's how we are feeling under Tifnumbu. Don't make it look like it's so new. It is not. So if there's anything at all that all of us who probably should agree on is to break up this contraption and save lives. Break it up and save lives.
So my people, that is it. Mayego has said it all in this particular video. You can see the level of hypocrisy from the Northerners. So now that they're saying that if Tinubu cannot protect the Northerners, especially the Fulanis, that they need to go their separate ways. So now that everyone is waking up, is it not time for us to have a roundtable meeting to discuss the way forward of this country, if truly that people still want to belong to this country called Nigeria? And you guys saw this man from Plateau State, how he was kind of, trying to bend his mouth to avoid what Fulani men are doing in Plateau State. Okay, look at this headline today in these days. It says the Plateau killings, the death toll hits 52 as more corpses are recovered. Look at what is happening in Plateau State, and that man in that particular meeting was proudly, boldly defending Fulani, knowing fully well what Fulani men are doing in Plateau State, because he is from the Plateau State, right? This is so shameful, honestly. So my people, that is it. I hope you guys had everything Mayego said in this video. I would love you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't shared the video, and give it a like. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Unmasking News TV.